Your Uncle Don't Know Nothing podcast. Your host, Sauce, the analyst, Doc Prime, Big Play Joe, MJ the Playmaker, and Coach Peyton.
So that's why I said it's going to be 7 games because someone is going to make the adjustments each game. And to me, the primary skill that you would need to win this series, the defensive rebound and the offensive rebounder has to pick up. And that'll bring down the scoring and make the scoring more competitive.
Hmm.
Hmm. So what adjustment do you think you would make if you was the Thunder coach? I mean, no, if you
Go
were the
through
Spurs
Gobert, go through
coach.
Gobert
Go
and get
through.
those go through Gobert and get those other guys in foul trouble. Gobert
What do
been
you
in the
mean go
playoffs.
through? You mean like throw the ball into the post to Gobert?
Hey, yes, he only had 2 points, man. 2 points.
He got no offensive game. He got no
Hey,
moves.
the man is 7'2". All he had to do is get on his tippy toes and dunk. Like,
Nah, man. They
hey,
were
it
Mike
worked.
Malone.
They
You.
did it.
They were Mike.
They
They were
did it.
Mike Malone, Sean. They come down at halftime and be like, "Hey, man, thank you for all you done, but you're gonna need to go up to the nosebleeds, brother."
Oh man. Well, think about that. Nobody had on both teams had more than 10 rebounds. Anthony Edwards was the leading rebound on the team.
Yeah.
Gotta do more.
But Anthony Edwards was getting outplayed by far by Alexander.
Man, Alexander was beating his own cousin out there. Come on now.
All I'm saying is, people
He
said
was
the
cooking
face of
his
the league
cousin. He
is
was
going to be
cooking his
Anthony
cousin.
Edwards, and Shea Gilgis was cooking him like fried chicken out there, man. It was not even close.
Hey,
He
does
had
anybody
stomach
think
his cousin.
hey, does anybody think we're living in the Matrix when we started off in 2024 with Jalen Brunson and Tyrese Halliburton on WWE SmackDown, and now they about to play again?
Hey,
What is
that's
it, a simulation? We're in the
crazy.
Matrix?
You're going to
That's
make people say
That's
crazy,
that the
man.
crazy.
league is scripted again. Here we go.
Hey,
I
hey,
mean,
my
can you write
predictions.
that? You
Hey,
can't
my
write that.
predictions. My prediction. I got the Knicks winning, and so far my bracket only had one loss bracket, and I just went by. I just looked and looked and looked. I said, "Man, this is gonna be a weird season." And by Doc Prime is solidifying my predictions even more. It is crazy
I don't know, man.
win the
That's
I don't
pretty
championship.
trust the
crazy.
Knicks. I don't trust the Knicks,
They
man.
gonna win. You ain't gotta trust. 'Em. You gotta trust the NBA.
They need to
It's gonna
keep.
be
They
a.
need to
It
keep.
has no small market team is. They already had their small market team wins, and they gotta get back into the core traditional teams. Getting them into these finals. Some more. The New York sports the New York sports area and their fan base is gonna go crazy. Just like that video MJ the Playmaker said, if the Knicks win, this is gonna happen. And that's I believe everything that was on that video damn near.
So you flirting with a conspiracy?
Ain't no conspiracy. I just the NBA has to be I think ratings and everything has fell off by 53%. And they got to get some kind of excitement back into the injected back into the fans. And Jalen Brunson is a phenomenal basketball player, someone I would never thought would be a top tier NBA player, even when I watched him at Villanova. And he kind of got my team that year. I can't even lie. His team did get the Tar Heels that year, but I never thought it. But the Olympics really put him on the pedestal, and he's young. His dad used to play in the league, so he learned a lot about basketball early. So he's better than his dad. That's the thing about sports. If the dad is sorry, the son is good. If the dad was great, the son don't be great. And that's kind of like tradition so far when you look at everything. So that's one of the things you got to look at. So
Not for the Pippins.
the Knicks back in
His
the
son pretty
fold.
good.
You said who?
Scottie Pippen's son's pretty good.
He ain't great.
He ain't better than his daddy.
He's not better,
He's
but
not.
he's pretty good. He's the best player on
No,
his team.
Nah. Hold on,
nah.
MJ. He's saying if the dad is good, the son is not great.
The
He's
son
not
is
Yeah.
not
great.
great.
Yeah. Look, it's consistent. Barry Sanders Jr.,
Like
Hey, but people were
LaMelo
telling me,
Ball is better
Randy
than his
Moss'
dad.
son. Randy Moss' son.
but
Tight
LeVar
end.
Ball didn't play basketball. He played football.
I thought LeVar played basketball.
He was a
No, he
football
played
player.
football. He played football.
My bad.
And I
Yep.
heard Bronny James should have been the MVP of the G League if he'd have played more games. So, I mean, like, greatness, man. What
Hey,
y'all
and
talking about?
congratulations to the SGA for winning the MVP for the season. He the
Hey,
MVP of the NBA.
I'm kind of hoping that SGA and the Thunder kind of win it all and become a perennial star or a perennial contender because in football, in the NFL and the NBA, the ratings go along with like what people view as dynasties. So like in the NFL, when the Patriots were in a bunch of Super Bowls, the ratings were great because people were either paying to watch them win or paying to watch them lose, hate watching or love watching. Same thing with the Cavs and the Warriors when they were playing, hate watching or love watching. I think the issue that the NFL had in between after the Patriots dynasty was, who was the team that da-da-da? Well, then the Chiefs did, and you saw the ratings go back up. The NBA hasn't had a team step up to that perennial winning multiple rings level since the Warriors kind of, lost their steam. And I think that's kind of affecting the league's ratings. So if SGA can bring the country of Canada into basketball and can get a perennial championship thing going on there at OKC, I think we'll see the ratings jump back up. And with all these young players around the league, it could be an exciting time. So that's what I'm hoping for because I don't believe in the Knicks. They've broken hearts too many times. The Knicks are like a cheating spouse who you take back over and over again and they just keep cheating. You can't trust them. And that's what the Knicks are doing with their winning. They're telling you, I'm not going to do it again. Yes, you are. And it's going to hurt even worse because I believe you this time. The Pacers, I think, are just too young. And the T-Wolves got, I think Edwards got to get better. But that's what I think. I'm hoping for the Thunder. I'm not picking them yet, but I'm hoping for them for the sport's sake.
The Knicks need to
Jalen
get their
Brunson.
side.
I got
Jalen Brunson
Need to get the
is
side chick.
push back on MJ a little bit on that one.
Hold on, real
Okay.
quick. The Knicks need to get the side chick out the crib. They need to get Spike up out of there, man.
They can't.
You
Jalen
can't keep messing
Brunson.
with the side chick, man.
Jalen Brunson gonna show y'all something.
So
I'm just telling you.
what I got wrong here? What I got wrong?
Well, it's not about what you got wrong.
Well,
I think
all right, so
what your sentiment is the sentiment of the enthusiast. Your sentiment is the sentiment of the person who wants to see good basketball, of the person who wants to see the league kind of get back to that pinnacle. And your way of them getting back to that pinnacle is more from the mindset of a fan. But I think the league's mindset is more on the mindset from the perspective of a business. And I think that they are betting on or hoping for New York Knicks because they're looking at how can I get exposure and get more eyes and more enthusiasm and more people who would be willing to pay that money and shell out those big ticket prices. How can I get that big NBA, commercial TV or whatever I need to generate revenue?
Yes.
And if you're talking about getting more eyes, you want to be in a big market. The New York Knicks is that big market. But I agree with you. They have done a poor job of taking it through to the finish. They let you down. You think, this is the year, and then you get that big letdown. So I agree with you on that. But I'm just saying from a business perspective, the NBA would love to see the Knicks actually do it this time.
and I got the Knicks in 6.
I don't know about that.
I'm talking about in the championship. They gonna play.
Oh,
They gonna play OKC.
So you
But
honestly
the
believe the
thing
Knicks
is,
can beat either one of these Western teams?
yes,
Ooh. Uh,
yes,
wow.
And beat either one of these teams in 6.
yes.
okay, the odds right now got OKC number one. Uh, the Knicks actually is number two, and then they've got the Timberwolves and then the Pacers. That's just what the betting markets. But I think again, the Knicks give you that thing, that feeling like, oh, this is it, and then you get the big letdown. But we'll see.
Uh, but Thibodeau is a defensive minded coach. I think he can slow down. He's been slowing down a lot. And look what he did to the world champs. Do have two superstars on the team and a unicorn, and they beat them.
I
So
mean,
that don't give you that should give you some type of idea. The Knicks beat the world champs.
so I don't
Let
want to
that
take
sink
any.
in.
No,
The
hold on.
Knicks beat the world champs.
I'm not going to take anything away from a team
Is
winning.
Jason Tatum is SGA better than Jason Tatum?
But Jason Tatum tore his Achilles in
Yeah,
the series,
right.
one. And two, the Celtics lost those first two games because they missed 75 threes. Like, that's why they lost. You can't miss 75 threes, let alone taking 75. They took 100 and
Mm.
missed 75 threes in two games. That's unheard of. That's
Yes.
unheard of. In high school, if you miss 5 threes in a row, the coach gonna
That's
call
coaching.
timeout and put in a whole different starting lineup. Like what
Or
y'all are
sit
That's
on
crazy.
the bench.
coaching. That's
Or sit on
coaching.
That's
the bench.
that's why the Knicks beat them. Was they just you they live they went what they have it tattooed on. Live by the
Coaching.
three, die by the three.
Yeah, about a three.
And they
They
said
died
we
by it.
we dying by it. We gonna let them know
That's
we
coaching.
do this three thing for
Literally.
real. Okay, don't nobody do the threes like we do the threes. But that's why they lost. I think the issue the Knicks are going to have is all about Carl Anthony Towns. Can he stay healthy for the rest of their run? If he can't, we've seen him get nicked up at times. They're going to struggle. But if he can stay healthy, I think with the perimeter pieces defense they play, the protecting the ball, not turning it over like crazy, I think they could be okay. But I think they're also, if they played OKC, they're going to struggle to match up with SGA. He's going to get a bunch of points on them. I don't know who's going to guard him. It's definitely not Brunson. He's too small.
Think about this. I let SGA score. And, you know, you can't hit them all. And that's the thing. Like, you have to, you got to sacrifice something. That's just like when the Bulls went to the first championship game in 1991. So Jordan did not guard Magic Johnson because he felt it was going to be a disadvantage on his end. So Scottie Pippen stepped in and D'd them up, and that's how they was able to win that first championship because they actually switched defenders and allowed MJ to be more free on playing against the other smaller guys like Brian Scott and all them. So I see Thibodeau looking on his bench, and someone's going to sacrifice fouls, and they're going to sacrifice putting some D on SGA because I don't really like. That's the thing. Like when you look at these games that SGA play, he played with a lot of control, so he doesn't play with out of control type of like he's not athletic as Anthony Edwards. So I can see some game. Like I said, it's going to get 7 games. Anthony Edwards going to have to sacrifice some of his game to be to D up on SGA. Now I do have the Thunder winning, but it's gonna be in 7. But someone on there when they play the Knicks, someone on that Knicks bench, I can see someone like Jason Hart stepping up and say, "Hey, look, I don't want to score. I just want to be on SGA the whole time." and that's how I see it.
He gonna get cooked, man.
I'm telling you, man.
Hey, Sean would be the coach of like the Pacers against the Lakers in the finals, and he'd be like, "Look, just get somebody off the bench, be on Shaq, let him get his, and we'll still win." No, bruh. No, he will score 100
Rick
points. That is
Smiths.
not gonna
Could've-
work, man.
They went through Rick Smiths. They would have won. Let me stop. Let me,
He go,
no,
he
Shaq
gonna
That's
would have.
not
channel the
gonna
old, he
work.
gonna channel the old Emmanuel Stewart. Get out here and beat these guys. Y'all get out here and beat these guys.
Get out
Like
there and
that's
beat
what
these
he's
guys.
trying to do. And get out there
Oh
and go on
God.
them.
Oh
Get
man.
out
Yeah,
there and go on
yeah,
them.
Sean. That's a
Block a
recipe for
shot.
disaster.
Hey,
Like
look.
you're not gonna put your best player. You're not gonna put your some sorry dude on Jordan and say go out there and don't try to score no points. Just check
Right.
him. All right. Well, he gonna get so frustrated he gonna swing on the man
Yeah.
Yeah,
because I mean he
65
gonna get
points later.
once that man once SGA hits 62 on him in front of
Man.
his family.
Now I'm all right, coach. I'm gonna just sit right here on the
You
bench.
can't do that though.
I'm just gonna
That's a
sit over here,
terrible
coach.
idea. That's horrible.
He said
That man gonna be
62.
SGA gonna be out there like that. Y'all got some more.
Oh yeah.
Give me some more of that.
Let me
Nah,
get
that
some
ain't gonna work.
barbecue sauce with that. Yeah,
That
for
ain't
real.
gonna work, man.
Nah,
That's not
that
gonna
wouldn't be
work.
a good plan. I wouldn't recommend that.
Unless that dude was on the level of somebody like Dennis Rodman, that ain't gonna work.
It's not gonna
Yeah.
work. I think the Knicks are gonna have a really, really tough time with the Pacers. I think the
Oh
Pacers
yeah,
are
it's just more 7.
they're tall, they're athletic, they can shoot. I think they're gonna cause some issues. They sneak up on people who don't think like, oh, it'll be easier than da da da. And they're tipping more balls. They're just a little bit more over in the paint to pick up that charge. And I think it's gonna have some issues because one of the things I noticed about the Knicks in this last series, they're a bit undersized in the guards compared to some of the teams they're playing. And the Pacers have some tall, physical guards who aren't going to back down. So the battle of Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby versus the Pacers guards is going to be the key to the game and coaching. And the Pacers
Oh,
have a slept-on coach.
he
He is a
world champ.
he's a good coach who's won rings, who people don't give the respect he deserves, and he used to coach. Like he's a good coach, and I think that's what it's going to come down to: is these two coaches got to make adjustments, and I think that the Pacers just have a little bit more wiggle room because I think they're better shooters than the Knicks are.
But you
All right.
think Thibodeau went against Carlisle a lot before he went over to the Knicks when he was at the Bulls. So both coaches are familiar with each other. So yeah,
True.
we'll see. It's gonna be a lot of adjustments.
Let me ask y'all this: the Pacers coming to see New York tonight. How big is this game? Like, how important is for one of these teams to set the pace? We know that's always very important in this situation, but with the Knicks having gotten this far and the fan base is everybody's going crazy in New York. This is huge. They got to be under a lot of pressure. How big is this game tonight at home for the Knicks?
Well, let me just say this. It's really big, right? Okay, there's not only um, the pressure from the fans, but there's all this chatter from everybody else in the social media, the legacy media. Everybody is talking about this. And I think that one of the things that you want to establish if you're the New York Knicks is you want to put down any thought that y'all going to run with us. We're in New York, this big market. We play ball here. Okay. The Pacers, their job is to come in and to really shake them up because can you take anything out of game one? Not necessarily. I mean, somebody's going to win. But the question is, what is that win going to look like? Was it competitive? Did you feel like you were totally out of your league? And then the next thing is, could you make the adjustments? Did you have to wait until halftime? Could you do it at the end of the quarter? What was your strategy coming in? That's going to be exposed. And so some of the things that MJ was talking about, if you think about it, really favors the Pacers more than it does the Knicks. And that, again, is going to put even more pressure on the Knicks. So the question is, under pressure, when you at home, when people are really hoping and expecting that you're going to win, when you get behind, can you rally? Can you make something happen, or do you fold? I want to see what's going to happen.
And I was that was something I was thinking about while you was giving your answer. I was like, okay, if the Knicks get behind, right,
Right.
significantly, let's say they get behind, 12 to 15 points, do they have any go-to? Is it an answer? Is it, okay, we got to do this, and they overcome that, or do they have to just try to hang in there and hope that the Pacers open up some room for them to come back? I mean,
Yeah, the
because
Pacers.
everybody don't have a Michael Jeffrey Jordan that can come out there and hit 24 in the fourth quarter or 24
Right.
in the
Is
second
all.
quarter just because
I
y'all
think
need it.
well, Thibodeau would try to get stops on defense and chip away at that lead. I think he'll have to increase the defensive pressure, do a little half court defense, a full court, just to slow it down to make mistakes. Some type of wrinkle that they haven't seen before on defense, as far as if they get behind by double digit points. And just say, like, as a coach, this is what coaches come involved. You're like, hey, we down by 6. I mean, down by 12. At the end of this quarter, we get it down by 6. You got to, have that type of mentality, and you had to give that type of encouragement to your team to say, hey, you don't have to get all in bunches, but let's try to chip away at it. And I'll make sure I make sure y'all make the adjustments on the field and on the play of the court, and we gonna get this, and we might not win the way we want to win, but we're gonna win.
Well, win is a win.
So I
Yep.
think one, I think it's more important for the Knicks this game. Protect home court is critical in the conference finals, so they have to win this first game. For the Pacers, if you lose, no big deal, right? You lost the game on the road. You're just trying to steal one of the first two. You don't need to win the first two. You're just trying to steal them. But the Knicks, you got to protect home court. You can't come into the conference finals and drop that first game at home. The New York media is brutal. You don't want to listen to them talk about, oh, yeah, this guy came out there and put up a stinker, because they will go in on you until the
Yes,
tip
Lord.
off of the next game. So I think it's critical for the Knicks to win this game for momentum and everything. I think the way the Knicks have been this season, you say who their Michael Jeffrey Jordan is Jalen Brunson. That is who they say get us a bucket when we need a bucket. And it's going to be some legacy time for him. If he can consistently do that in these conference finals, then he's going to have cemented himself in New York Knicks history, and he's going to get him to the finals. So I think there's two things. One, I think this game is huge for the Knicks, and two, I think this game and series is huge for Jalen Brunson. I think this is one of those points in a player's career where, depending on what he can do with his team, he creates his legacy. I think Jalen Brunson came in, your second fiddle to Luka Doncic in Dallas. You're developing, you're earning your stuff. Luka gets hurt. You show what you can do. You say, I don't want to be the number 2 anymore. I'm going to take money and go to New York. I'm bringing my dad, my family with me. People are like, man, that's not a number 1 guy. I wanted Damian Lillard over that guy. I think he's da-da-da, right? He comes to New York. He's the man. He starts showing people what he can do. Now you're at the point where if you can get your team to the finals, you're going to have shown people who Jalen Brunson is. And he's putting himself on a potential Hall of Fame trajectory for his career. So this is a huge series for him. Now, if he goes out there and he lays an egg and averages 15 points for these Eastern Conference Finals and they get beaten 5, I think that also does something to his legacy too, because that Hall of Fame trajectory, that's gone, right? So this is huge. And I think I predict you're going to see the Knicks come out hungry. You're going to see Jalen Brunson come out business. business face. His family's going to be there. His dad's going to be in his ear. I think you'll see his old Villanova coaches in the house. Spike Lee will be talking them up. All the Knicks former players will have just a whole prayer meeting around the court. It's going to be crazy voodoo going on in there, and you're going to see the Knicks run. You're going to see the Knicks run, and I expect them to win game one, but just because of everything, all the emotion behind it.
Yeah, I mean, I think they might win game one because you're right. It's going to be a lot of emotion behind them. But when I look at the Pacers, though, you got the game plan from the head coach Carlisle and everything. But there's another player, or there's another piece to the Indiana coaching staff that I think might have something to say about that. I mean, if you think about Lloyd Pierce, the lead assistant head coach, this guy is a defensive-minded kind of guy. Like, he built his reputation on defense. And one of the things I could see them doing is saying, all right, Lloyd, let's get a good defense, because if they start playing defense and if they can slow the Knicks down, if they can calm the crowd down with some good defensive stops, they could generate their own momentum, I think, and get the ball moving in the other direction. Now, yeah, it's going to take a team effort, and I agree. Yeah, the Knicks are probably going to win game one, but I think the Pacers, if they really settle down and play some hard defense, they could give them a scare. And then I'd like to see what the Knicks do when they're either behind or it's really neck and neck. I'd really like to see their composure, because let's see if we can make them break. That's what I would say if I was the coaching staff. I'd come up with a plan so we can slow the game down, play some hard defense, and see if we can catch them and make them lose their composure.
I agree with that. I do think the Knicks gotta win this game tonight. They have to. A loss tonight would be devastating, to say the least. It would be devastating. And I mean, the Pacers walking out of there with a win tonight. I mean, that'll be. You'll probably hear some people calling for the sweep.
I don't know about that, because again, adjustments. The thing about it is, anybody can get smacked in the mouth one time. Anybody can get stole, right? But I'm saying, that this team is coming to your city to steal you. They coming to take a sucker punch. Don't let them do it. And if it happens, my thing is, like MJ was saying, like, what does that say about the coaches? Like, I mean, the players are the players, but I mean, somebody's got to be like, all right, we know what they're going to come and try to do. How are we going to counter that? Because they would love to come in here and smack us down in front of our fans in one of the in the biggest market left in the playoffs.
If they say, okay, let's game plan for JB and make the rest of them guys beat us, what then?
Well, I mean, you don't necessarily want to do that. Karl Anthony Towns has scored over 60 points in a game before.
Yeah.
So you're gonna need to guard him. Otherwise, he can go off, and you definitely don't want that. I think Jalen Brunson is going to keep his confidence high. We've seen Karl Anthony Towns lose confidence if he's struggling, and that helps you. So you got to guard him and not say, I'm going to just stop JB. So that's your risk. If you say, oh, I'm just going to double team JB and let the rest get theirs, yeah, you could get blown out, because Karl Anthony Towns could heat up, get real confident, and just start hitting logo threes, and it's a problem for you all night.
JB is good at drawing fouls, and because he does like to take it to the whole pause, and yeah, so we can go from there.
Yeah,
But
amid all
he-
this stuff going on in trial, you
yeah,
got to be real careful
yes.
with your dialogue, and make sure you pause. Make sure you say pause and stuff, because right now people is real sensitive out here right now.
Yes,
So you
Lord.
you gotta be extremely careful with your wording. But go ahead,
So
though.
I got
Yes.
a weird thought here. I actually think it would be better for the Knicks if they got if let's say they're going to lose this first game at home, which we know will be tough, but I think there's a better option of losing. If they lose and they get blown out by 20 and they shot poorly and they didn't feel they played good defense, I think that's actually better than them losing on like a Halliburton 3 at the buzzer.
Oh yeah.
I think they
Hey,
come back from that better because they
I'm
say, well, we didn't even play our best. We got better. We're going to come back and show them. Versus if they lose at home game 1 on a 3 at the buzzer and they're like, go, man. Brunson and Towns both had 30. We thought we had them. I think that's it. The series is basically over.
Yeah.
And you'll see the Pacers
confident.
winning maybe 5 or 6. Versus if they do lose, they got to get blown out. And they got to be like, man, at the podium, man, we didn't play well, man. All respect to them, but we lost this game, not they won it.
Right.
Right.
Very good analysis. Yeah, they got to lose it, not the other team win it. Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know about the blowout. Let's go about like they lose by 8. They lose by 20. I think we. I ain't gonna pull out the broom. I'm not pulling out a broom, but I'm gonna be looking at that dustpan a little bit.
True, but the closer the loss, though, the higher you've already reached the ceiling of what you could potentially do. If you shot lights out and you played your hardest, and there's not a lot of room at the top, and you lost by a bomb 3 at the end, where do you have to go? You got no ceiling left.
No,
So
you do. You do.
Be, you know.
You do. It's like this. You go in there and you put your best fight together, and they barely got by you. You can go back and say, man, we can beat them people, man. We can beat them people, man. We're gonna beat them next time. You know you ready. You want to run this back. If you go out there and you go out there and them people beat y'all by 25, now you got something to think about.
So you're saying Minnesota
and you don't even know if they gave you their best and y'all got punished like that. It's gonna be some stuff to think about because individual players gonna know, man, I can't guard this dude.
So do you think
they're knowing they're hot, huh?
Do you think Minnesota feels like that right now?
I don't.
No.
Okay.
No, well, hold on. I don't think Edwards. Hold on. I don't think Edwards. Feel like that.
Yeah.
I think the only reason they don't feel like that because of this guy. I mean, dude got a heart of a lion. Yeah. I don't think he feels that way, but I mean,
so you
do
think
the Knicks
Brunson
got somebody on their team with a heart like that, huh?
They do, Jalen Brunson. I think Jalen
Brunson. You got a heart like Ant?
Yeah. He's proven it at every level. He's a dog, man. He not quitting for nothing.
Nope.
I feel like a blowout by listen, they lose by 8 or 12. That's okay, let's get it. Yo, let's beat our chest and go outside, man, and show these cats what's up. We're gonna get this next one. If they lose by the 3 and they played their hearts out, I think they'll still feel like, man, they won that by luck. We can not by luck, but they won that by lucky shot or whatever, right? But a blowout by a dub or better, I say 18, 15, 18 or better. I think that's snatched some souls a little bit. The only reason I say that I don't think the Wolves feel that way because that Lakers series, and when I seen them get demolished in that first half, they lost the game, but I saw them beat the hell out the Lakers in that second half. Even though they lost, they punished them.
They went through Gobert.
But I'm just saying, I saw them punished. I knew I could look in their face, and they knew them people couldn't beat them. They knew it. And other people was like, I don't know, man. They can't handle it. I was like, man, them dudes had a look in their face. Like, they know they can beat these people. And we saw what happened.
Even Charles Barkley said, he said the The Lakers didn't win. It just defense. The coaching wasn't adjusted in the second quarter like it was should have been done in the last three quarters, which they did. Take it to the Lakers. That was all coaching, and Finch made the adjustments, and you saw what happened after that.
I like the close loss with New York. I like the close loss. I like the loss by 8, but the blowout that's too risky. It's too much. The blowout with bad play. I don't know about that.
But the blowout is more likely to be this way. Jalen Brunson twists his ankle in the third quarter. Karl Anthony Towns clashes knees, leaves the court for about 5 minutes in the beginning of the fourth quarter. The rest of the Knicks can't hit no shots. The Pacers start busting a couple threes. Halliburton is dancing, and you take about a 22-point loss. So you're like, nah, man, wait till game 2 and 3. We got something for them. But the close loss is, Brunson and Towns are like putting in 30. Towns got tears in his eyes, like, we're about to do it, y'all. He hits a layup, puts him up 2. It's like, it's only 5 seconds left. We got them. And Halliburton comes off some screen. The ball's rolling on the ground. He picks it up, turns to the rim, shoots it, and that thing hits nothing but net. And that entire stadium is just quiet. Just souls taken, man. The Knicks are going to be like, oh, man, maybe it wasn't meant to be.
Then we look on X, and then we look
What
on
about
X.
this
We
one?
see fighting in the stands.
Well, what about this close game? It come down to the stretch. It's a couple of seconds left on the clock. Knicks up by 1. No, they up by 2. We got this. Bad call. Beyond the 3-point line. Awful call. Everybody in the gym, everybody know this is a terrible call.
Oh,
But
no.
the call stands. And they go to the line. They hit the 3 and the Knicks lose.
I think even still that takes their heart away because you left it in the ref's hands.
That's right.
Yep.
I mean, look, and they had to hit all 3 of the free throws. Look, if you want to be sure, with the final seconds, you got to be up 4. You're guaranteed not to lose. Worst that can happen is it's a tie.
Right.
But if you're only up 2 on the number 6 seed, look, remember, this is the Western Conference Finals. They're playing the 6th seed. They're supposed to dog walk the 6th seed.
Facts.
Right? Just like OKC did. They dog walked Minnesota in that first game at home. That's what you're supposed to do. You're the 3 seed. If you can't do that, that's something in the back of their mind is like, oh man, then you're cutting on sports radio the next morning, you're eating breakfast with your wife or your kids, and it's like, man, the Knicks always got this monkey on their back. And then you're in warm-ups and you're like, man, what is that? And you're like, hey, Train, I'm feeling something in my calf, man. What's going on? And it's just in your mind now. You're like, things ain't working for us. Things ain't going the way we're supposed to go. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Well, the Wolves played in OKC, right? So we can't really put them in the same. I wonder if they feel like if the Knicks get blown out, we can't really compare it because the Knicks at home.
True. Like I said, the Wolves should bounce back well from this because you don't have to win this one or the next one. Their must-win game is Game 3. They have to win Game 3 at home.
I just feel like if the Knicks lose tonight, it's awful. I don't care how they lose.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't care how they lose. I think that's if they lose, I would say the series, the Pacers are probably going to beat them. That's just how I feel right now. Right now, I feel like if the Knicks lose this game, it is a must-win for them. If they lose this game, they've basically lost momentum of the series, and it might be over for them.
That's the thing that I'm concerned about. Like, I think you asked how important was this game. I think that's the crux of the moment right there. Like, can you get the momentum back after such a disappointing loss? I don't think the Pacers has as much to lose as the Knicks. In other words, if I'm the Pacers coaching staff, I'm telling them, hey, look, guys, relax. This ain't the end of the world for us. Go out there and play hard. Let's play defense. Let's put them in the point where they have to keep their composure. Let's go out there and play good basketball. I think that is what you have to do if you're the Pacers coaching staff. And the Knicks, yeah, I think the pressure is on them.
And like I said earlier, the Timberwolves were up at halftime, and they had a low scoring game, like as far as points, and they applied the defense. When Edwards twisted that ankle, that's when they was able to take advantage of the points of the third quarter. They only scored 18 points in the third quarter, and they were averaging around 23 a quarter. That's, and then that was the blowout because OKC scored 32 points in the third quarter. I'm like, yeah, it's about it right here. And they pulled away and they couldn't chip back. They couldn't even run their offense no more. So that's the thing. Like the Timberwolves know they can beat them because they did it before the ankle twist. So we're gonna see. Like I said, 7 games in both Eastern Conference and Western Conference Finals, and I'm gonna put my uncle you don't know nothing stamp on it.
Well, it's funny you should mention that. Go ahead, Mark. I was going to say.
Oh, I was gonna say, I got X factor for the Pacers is gonna be Miles Turner. He's gonna be
Yes.
the piece that decides. I think Siakam is going to play well. I think Halliburton will play fine. I think Mathurin, the other guys. I think Miles Turner is the guy who's going to have either some big games, 25 plus, hitting some big threes, or he's not going to have big games and the Knicks are going to take off from him. I think he's going to be that player who's the X factor for deciding the series.
It's funny that we're talking about the Knicks so much. This isn't the first game that the Knicks, really wanted to win. In fact, in 1946, the New York Knicks played the Toronto Huskies in what many consider to be the first NBA game. And they won that game 68-66. But get this, there was a advertisement and a promotion which said, if you were taller than 6'8", you got to get into the game for free. Now think about that in this day and age in Madison Square Garden. And your uncle didn't know that. I guarantee you.
He definitely
not.
didn't.
No, I didn't. And so they had a
All right,
bunch of
fellas,
midgets
before we
going to
get
the
out of
game.
here, predictions. What's your
right,
prediction? Give me a score and give me a reason why you choosing this prediction.
For Pacers Knicks?
Yes.
All right. I'll give you one. I'll say 111, 107. Pacers.
Woo-hoo. Let's get it.
I think that Karl Anthony Towns is going to struggle on defense and pick and rolls. I think they're going to pick on him. And I think Miles Turner is going to hit a couple big threes, and that's going to be the deciding factor.
All right, Coach Payton.
I got 104 to 115 Knicks. They pull away in the fourth quarter. Jalen Brunson puts the pressure and gets a lot of 3-point plays in the
All
final
right, Doc.
5 minutes.
Final 5 minutes. All right, Doc.
Okay, I got 103, 98 Pacers. I think they're going to come in. They're going to shake it up. I think they're going to play defense. They're going to try to slow it down. And I think they're going to cause the Knicks to lose composure. And in game 1, I think they're going to surprise them.
All right, fellas. Well, it's going to be a real exciting game tonight. I can't wait to see it. I'm about to get ready to settle down so I can watch it from the start and whistle to the end. I got
Wait, who you got?
I got the Pacers, man. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
Oh.
3-1, man.
I
Let's
got the Pacers.
I like that. I like
I
it.
don't
I like
see
that.
it. I don't
like
see
that.
it being as I don't see it being as close as y'all have it. I think the Pacers win by, 10, 12 points.
Oof.
I just do not trust the Knicks. That Boston series with the injuries, and I
Yeah.
just think they kind of the basketball gods kind of pushed them in a little bit, and I just don't think that they supposed to be there. So
Yeah.
I think they lose tonight. I think they getting up out of there in 5 games. Now I am rooting for them, but I'm basing this in reality.
You walking that line.
Hey, I gotta say,
Walk
I
it.
do. I like the Knicks. I like Jalen Brunson. I like Karl Anthony Towns. I like their game. I like watching them play. I just had to make a pick on what I think is going to actually factually happen, and that's my pick. But I do love watching them play.